O's in when we standing on business. I'm a big stepper, underground methods.
And now they deported me, they kicking me out, and they breaking my family apart.
They rallied behind Trump as he screamed about mass deportation, somehow thinking it wouldn't apply to them. Surprise.
Correa screams injustice after her husband was placed on an expedited deportation order after showing up to his immigration check-in in Miami.
Can you imagine singing a song that helped rally so many of the votes of the Cuban and Latin community, that now is the reason why you're losing your family? Literally one by one, they're picking up members of your family and deporting them.
Now listen, this right here is one of the wildest things I've seen in a minute. A Latina woman stood on stage, proud, singing, "I will vote for Trump," repping the red hat like it meant protection. Somehow she thought standing with Trump was going to keep her family safe. But now, ICE came knocking. Her husband, gone. Her family, snatched up. And now she's crying on camera, feeling the weight of a system she helped support. This ain't just a story about one woman. This is about truth, choices, and consequences. A lot of folks think standing with power means they're protected by it, until it turns on them. So before we roll the clip, ask yourself, what would make someone fight so hard for a system that don't even claim them back? Let's get into it.
Raise your hands, come on! Raise your hands!
We all know her. She is on fire right now. She is trending bigly. But wait a minute. Wait. Watch.
Correa screams injustice after her husband was placed on an expedited deportation order after showing up to his immigration check-in in Miami.
That is the same lady who sings the Donald Trump song. Her name is Correa. She is a Cuban in Florida, and her husband is being deported. Honestly, this brings me joy. For years, especially in Florida, a large portion of the Cuban community has been reliably voting Republican, and more recently full-blown MAGA. I think Florida Cubans are some of the most problematic Latinos in terms of voting. They rallied behind Trump as he screamed about mass deportation, somehow thinking it wouldn't apply to them. Surprise. And I'm so glad that they voted themselves out of our country. Trump campaigned on mass deportation, and these MAGA Cubans voted for mass deportation, and now they're getting deported. They got what they voted for, and I love that for them. A lot of Cubans, possibly seeking legal status like naturalization in the US, have now eliminated themselves from the voting rolls, and I say good, because I'm tired of them sabotaging our elections. Now again, I do not wish this on the Cubans who don't support Trump, but statistically, most of them do.
I'm on vacation, but I'm still going to spill the tea. That headline is correct. Absolutely correct. I actually did some research, and I even found the video where the news reporters were actually interviewing them. So the woman that you see here, she is part of the "I will vote Donald Trump." Yeah. They detained her husband. They actually have him on expedited removal from the United States. Yes, you heard correctly.
It's been happening frequently at the 333 Miami Avenue Federal Court building. Correa's husband was detained this week. According to her immigration lawyer, he has already been placed on expedite removal.
It's not fair that it's happening to you, but it was okay when you thought it was going to happen to everybody else. It's not fair, although you knew that this is what this man was going to do, considering that he campaigned for it. And here's the thing about it. If they do not get approved after their interview, ICE is waiting for them right outside the door. He was immediately detained, and he's put on expedite removal from the United States. And you went and you sang that song for that man. And I found out that you didn't even get paid for that song. Mind you, you signed a contract. And here, actually, from what I hear, it's not just her husband. There's a whole list of family members that have gotten detained from ICE. Like family members of her. Can you imagine singing a song that helped rally so many of the votes of the Cuban and Latin community, that now is the reason why you're losing your family. Literally, one by one, they're picking up members of your family and deporting them. But you voted for Donald Trump. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy every second of that vote.
Press conference in Doral Monday, Venezuelan Americans denounced the Trump administration and South Florida Republicans.
More than betrayal.
No.
Beyond betrayal.
Shocking.
They used us.
No.
They actually, during the campaign, and I don't want to make this political, but during the campaign, the elected officials from the Republican Party, they actually told us that it was not going to touch the documented people.
I can believe that. Hey. We will vote.
Raise your hands, come on!
For Donald Trump. Hey.
Goes in when we standing on business. I'm a big stepper, underground methods.
And now they deported me. They kicking me out. And they breaking my family apart. Donald Trump es mi favorito. Donald Trump es mi favorito. Donald Trump, ¡huepa, huepa, hey! Donald Trump es mi favorito. Mi favorito presidente número uno. ¡Huepa, tan, 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 tan.
I'm telling you, it's fantastic. A couple days ago, they're like,
What's wrong with that? Leave me alone! I can't believe this shit!
It's been happening frequently at the 333 Miami Avenue Federal Court building. Janet Correa's husband was detained this week. According to her immigration lawyer, he has already been placed on expedite removal.
But I love you, Donald Trump!
he's like, buenos dias. Muy malo. A cucaracha, cucaracha. I'm so sorry, so sorry. Muy malo. Adios, amigos. Buenos tardes. Goodbye. Anything with an O is Spanish. We're taking it away.
Activist Helen Villalonga begged for compassion.
¿Qué le hicimos, Donald Trump?
What did we do to you, Donald Trump, to deserve this? Many of my people believed in you.
I'm worried because of the situation that me, my dad, and my mom have where we don't have papers yet.
Javier, did you support Donald Trump?
Sí, yo hubiese tenido ciudadanía.
If I was a U.S. citizen, I would have voted for Donald Trump.
So wait, you voted for deportations, but you didn't think it would come with actual deportations? So let me get this straight. You stood 10 toes down behind a man that was yelling mass deportation. You wore the shirt, you waved the flag, you reposted the meme. But now that Maria from down the street that brings you tamales every week is on that ICE list, now you're talking about, wait, this ain't what we meant. Ma'am, sir, yes, it is. Y'all love harsh policies when it's aimed at strangers or people you don't like. But as soon as it taps someone in your church group or Lil Liam's favorite soccer coach, then all of a sudden we got a problem. The math all of a sudden ain't mathing. Y'all ordered the combo meal of cruelty with extra sauce and y'all mad it came with a side of guilt? Ain't no refunds on fascism, baby. You wanted the smoke. Don't act surprised when the house catches fire. You voted for it, and now you got it.
You know, watching that unfold, it hits different because what we just saw wasn't just about one woman. It was a whole wake-up call, loud and clear. Janet Correa thought that by standing next to Trump, singing his name loud, and casting that vote for the Republican Party, she was making a smart move for her future, for her family, for their safety. But the truth came crashing down. She, and many like her, truly believed Trump's team was only coming after the bad ones, undocumented folks with records, or those living in the shadows. They thought, we're not the ones he's talking about. We're the good immigrants. We're legal. We love this country. We even voted for him. But now they're watching ICE rip through their lives, deporting their husbands, their fathers, their brothers, and realizing too late that it didn't matter how loud they cheered. It didn't matter who they voted for. They were never exempt, because to that system, they were always disposable. And let's be real, this ain't new. For years, marginalized communities have been trying to say, just because you try to blend in, just because you play by the rules, doesn't mean white supremacy won't eventually come for you too. You can wrap yourself in the flag, shout USA till you're hoarse, and align yourself with power. But if that power is built on exclusion, fear, and division, it will always turn on you. Now, even people like the Miami Republican, who co-founded Latinas for Trump, is publicly condemning this deportation campaign. She's calling it out because she knows this ain't what they were promised. This isn't about law and order anymore. This is about betrayal. Let that sink in for a minute. The very folks who helped push that Trump is good for Latinos narrative are now realizing the Republican playbook didn't have their names in it. It had targets. And now they're on the list. And here's where it hits home for us. Because this ain't just about immigration or politics. This is about truth. This is about how so many communities of color, whether Latino, Black, or immigrant, get sold these dreams by people in power. Dreams of safety, respect, opportunity, if they just fall in line. But what happens when you do all that, and the same system still turns on you? What happens when your loyalty gets you nothing but handcuffs and heartbreak? We've seen this before, time and time again. Black folks have lived through generations of this, being told that if we act right, dress right, vote right, stay out of trouble, then maybe we'll be safe. But we learned that safety ain't guaranteed, because the system was never really built for us. And now, some of these Latinos are learning that same lesson the hard way. So let this moment be a reflection, not to shame anybody, but to open eyes. If you're watching this, and you've ever thought that aligning yourself with a certain political party would somehow make you immune to injustice, this is your wake-up call. Trump doesn't care if you sang for him. He doesn't care if you voted red. The minute you stop serving his agenda, or worse, the minute you become inconvenient to his base, you're just another name on a list, just another number in a deportation stat. And that's the tragedy here. These families really believed. They put their faith in a system that turned around and snatched everything from them. So what can we do? We can start by speaking the truth, by having these uncomfortable conversations in our communities, by standing in solidarity with those who are just now waking up, even if we warned them before. Thank you for joining me today. Don't forget to share this video with someone, and I'll see you in the next one.